Welcome to the show. As we come on the air today, there are new statistics in the coronavirus. As of today, the total cases is 11,000 cases. No new cases of 223. That's the confirmed cases. Probable positive is 26. The total is 2,368. As always, I have to stress to you, you must wear a mask at all times. We don't need to have people going out saying, oh, I don't want to wear a mask. You need to wear a mask because it is required. It's required. If you're going to go out, If you're going to go out, you have to wear a mask. There is no but. There is no way of telling you this, but if you're going to go out, at least you have to wear a mask by all costs. Now, teacher strikes. As kids are going to be going back to school in several weeks now, teachers are going to be going on strike. And I ask you guys, do you support teachers going on strikes? I don't, absolutely not. Because, for one, in the state of Texas, it is illegal for somebody to go on strike, for a teacher to go on strike. What happens they do? Well, the research suggests that if that happens, the teacher could get his or her license taken away. The teacher who is responsible. And still, the TEA has guidelines. What are the guidelines? Well, the guidelines are that all students have to wear a mask, so do teachers. And that there ain't no but about it. And it's not just Texas. Most states in most states where you live in, it is illegal to, even in most states like Texas, it is illegal. But in 12 states, it's legal for a teacher strike to happen. Teachers will be prosecuted to the max. If it happens, all teachers can be prosecuted. The teacher who did this, teachers, they can be prosecuted before a court of law. And if that happens, the teacher can lose their job, teaching certificate, and their job. By all means. There is no arguing back and forth. I mean, there is no arguing back and forth here to determine whether or not. So, if I were you as teachers, I would not go on strike in most states. Unless you want to risk getting arrested or losing your job. Or at least quitting your job. That could be your choice. But if you decide, I'm going to go out and protest because it's my right, then what your choice is going to be then this is your choice. Your consequence is going to be sitting in jail with no bail money. So I stress to you all teachers, this was the very latest yesterday. All teachers union are going on strike.
Tonight, schools testing out safety systems.
Please wear a mask.
As pressure mounts, the nation's second largest teachers union today authorizing its 1.7 million members to strike in districts and states where certain safety standards are not met.
Do I want to get back into school? Absolutely. But we need to be able to do that in a safe environment.
Yes.
A pilot summer school program underway at Wesley Elementary School in Middletown, Connecticut appears hopeful, but with concessions, few, if any, schools nationwide will be able to replicate.
I only have 4 kids in my class right now. It's very manageable.
But managing kids and exposure to coronavirus at school, untested.
It's just something that's always going to constantly be in my mind is, am I really putting him at such a high risk now, putting him back in school?
In Middletown, partitions, outdoor classrooms, and masks required, while South Dakota's governor today encouraging schools to open with no masks required.
The mask situation with kids and with adults is very mixed research, and the science has not proven what's effective and what isn't.
More than 75 children have died from COVID, including Florida's youngest victim, 9-year-old Kimora Lynham. In Florida, 31,000 kids testing positive, up 34% in just 8 days. And in Martin County, 1 in 4 children positive.
The numbers are just too high for our family to take that risk.
Yvette Garcia joining an estimated 6 million other parents choosing for the first time to homeschool her 5-year-old son, Julian. Are you going to call mommy mommy, or are you going to call her teacher? Teacher mommy.
Teacher mommy.
Tonight, parents worried a wrong decision could break their hearts.
I'm nervous, but I think this is the right thing to do. I think this is the safest option for us.
Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Orange Park, Florida.
I agree. But that's no reason for the governor of that state to say, let's not wear a mask. If you're tough enough to say no mask, then I can stand here in your face and say, please, no. We have to protect the We have to protect the students. Like what Governor Greg Abbott is doing. What my governor is in the state of Texas is doing is coming up with a plan for all school, for Texas to reopen. Now, there is a plan, August 13th, remote learning until Labor Day. And that time, for just for 4 weeks. And if parents decide that their kids should just not come into the school building, then an additional 4 weeks. That's 8 weeks. Again, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, it just goes on. So say you do this, in some states, it's illegal. This is not like one of the episodes of Simpsons where teachers can go on strike. There ain't no negotiating. There is no negotiating back and forth with this. You just need to understand, if this is what your state governor wants, it's what your state governor wants. There is no arguing back and forth. Next, we're going to give you the very latest on Hurricane Hannah. We're going to tell you what happened after Hurricane Hannah from a couple of days ago, and give you my experience tell you all the deals that happened as Hurricane Hannah came to Texas last weekend. We'll be right back. as you guys know, back Saturday, Hurricane Hannah came blowing through. And the biggest thing is, it blew Donald Trump's wall. It blew the Trump wall. I bet President Trump will be like, no, no. But is it true or false? Take a look.
Did you see this video on Facebook or Twitter? It appears to show sections of the border wall collapsing. The reporter who shared this on Twitter said it happened during Hurricane Hannah over the weekend. But Matt Doherty found the real source of the video in tonight's Verify.
The video has been seen by millions of people in the past 24 hours. It shows what appear to be enormous sections of the border wall collapsing. The Mexican news site that posted it to its Facebook page yesterday morning says it happened along the Texas-Mexico border. A reporter from Monterrey posted the video as well. Edith Valdez wrote it was during Hurricane Hannah, and it was the wrath of Mother Nature. Within hours, the tweet took off. It was reposted by journalists on the verified Twitter accounts, by political activists, and even actors like John Cusack. To verify the video, we sought two sources: the Rio Grande Valley sector of U.S. Customs and Border Protection and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which is in charge of the border wall's construction. From CBP, quote, "The agency is not aware of any border wall panels falling over due to Hurricane Hannah hitting the Rio Grande Valley sector this past weekend." The video circulating on social media appears to be from June 2020. That's when they say the incident actually happened at a site near Denny, New Mexico. We contacted the Army Corps of Engineers to double check. And here's what they said. Quote, "The video is from early June following a high wind event at a construction site near Denny, New Mexico. It is unrelated to Hurricane Hannah." So bottom line, we can verify that the video is real, but the context is wrong. This really did happen, but it
False.
wasn't a hurricane. It was last month, and it wasn't in Texas. The reporter has since deleted the tweet, which has been viewed more than 5 million times. Matt Doherty, KSU on the news.
5 million times. It is hard to tell sometimes what you're seeing online and whether it's real, and that's why we take Verify so seriously. We work hard to get the facts so you know what's true or false before you share it. So keep sending your questions to verify@khou.com. Also reach us on Facebook or Twitter.
Exactly. I mean, that was not him. That was from a story. Donald Trump saw that and be like, "This is not true. This is what happened last June." And again, all the Mexicans are going to be coming into that destruction. I mean, he likes the wall. And then, after that wall came down, I think Donald Trump was like, Donald Trump was not happy about it. He was like, "My wall, no!" Okay. Now, with Hurricane Hannah coming, branches. But can you really lose your house mowing your lawn? Take a look.
Imagine if we ever got to meet. We would be such good friends.
The city of Dunedin, Florida wants to take this man's home. Because I was tardy cutting grass. Jim Fickett's mom died, so he went to South Carolina to take care of her estate. City officials then started fining Fickett $500 a day because his grass had grown longer than 10 inches. Such fines add up.
This is a letter from the city attorney demanding $24,454.
Now the fine's up to $30,000.
That's asinine.
Fickett's neighbor can't believe he was fined so much.
Just for grass.
Because Fickett doesn't have $30,000, the city says it will foreclose on his home to collect the fine. I was shocked. The town says you're kind of a public nuisance.
I got everything fixed and taken care of.
But you only get it fixed after they send warning after warning, the neighbors complain.
I guess I'm kind of a slob.
Why don't you just pay the fine?
$30,000. Do you have $30,000 lying around?
In every instance that the city asked him to do something, Jim did it.
Lawyer Ari Bargles defending Ficken against Dunedin.
The city has gone.
So again, I think you can't,
$500.
if you don't pay your fines, then yes, absolutely, you will lose your house.
Per day for the violation of having his home.
Which there was no but. Next, can you really be, right, so again, bottom line is, I think you can be fined. You will lose your house
Scream at him for an hour.
to pay fines.
You voice your opinions? Watch out.
Next on the program, do you voice your opinions? At least that's what my show does, it gives 2% opinions. If you voice your opinions on TV, well, watch out! You could get fired. We'll tell you how after the break. Welcome back. If you're a years person, do you voice your opinions? If you do, watch out. You could get fired. If you voice your opinions, you're fired. That's what happened when the New York Times editorial page was resigned after a backlash over Senator Cotton's op-ed. Take a look from John Stossel.
Has resigned, stepping down after controversial comments.
The opinion editor of the New York Times has just resigned.
You probably heard about this man losing his job because he approved an op-ed by Republican Senator Tom Cotton, whose headline, "Send in the troops to restore order when there are riots." Sometimes reporters claim
That is a dangerous, dangerous thing for the New York Times to have published.
many tweeted the exact same wording, saying it put their lives in danger.
But it didn't put their lives in danger. No, it didn't. It's absurd.
Robbie Suave reports on today's young radicals, like the ones at the New York Times.
Their union promoted it because that language spoke to a potential legal concern. Harassment law, that's their tactic for seizing power in the workplace.
Where did this tactic come from?
It's not a debate. It's not a debate.
It started on college campuses. Several years ago, this mob of angry students at Yale surrounded this professor.
Why can't you say sorry?
I'm sorry.
Saying sorry is never enough.
Look at me. Yes. Look at me. Yes. Your experiences will never connect to mine. Empathy is not necessary for you to understand that you're wrong.
What horrible thing had Professor Nicholas Christakis done? He defended his wife sending out a free Halloween email saying, whose business is it to control costumes of young people like turbans or headdresses just because they come from other cultures?
The message that you sent proclaiming that cultural appropriation on Halloween is totally permissible is hurtful.
I want to make sure. They screamed at him for an hour. There's nothing he could say to them to convince them. They're just trying to punish someone, to humiliate someone who disagrees with their tactics.
I do not respect you.
I hear that.
I'm looking with the smirk in your face and I'm disgusted.
Okay.
But now I'm actually angry, sir. I really do not interrupt me. I was not angry, and now
Risk. Their letter didn't give any evidence how it threatened their lives, but they won.
The top editor of the Inquirer resigned.
Then young activists at NBC News tried to silence the Federalist, a respected conservative site that NBC smeared as far right. What had the Federalist done? Published a column that said, correctly, the media had falsely claimed violent riots were peaceful. But it also quoted a government official saying tear gas was not used against rioters, which turned out not to be true. So NBC then claimed Google blocked the Federalist from advertising after NBC's verification unit brought it to Google's attention.
An apparent push by NBC to remove ads from the Federalist site.
The reporter even thanked left-wing activist groups for their collaboration. But it turned out that NBC's report was just wrong.
Google tonight saying that's not true.
So the activist mob failed here.
Jinx is all the kids.
Some people want to cancel Paw Patrol.
That's what the activists are saying. We should have fewer positive portrayals.
our job to stop you from saying offensive things.
Hired you!
How can you allow someone to say something that offends me?
The problem with that is,
We're supposed to occasionally offend each other because you might be wrong. We have to have a conversation about it. We have to challenge dogma. What if we were still with the principle that you couldn't speak out against the king? That's the history of the Middle Ages, is people suffering violent consequences for daring to offend people.
Galileo was arrested for saying the earth revolved around the sun.
That's the conditions that all humans lived under, and it was a much less happy place. Then we came to an idea that, no, we improve society by having frank and sometimes difficult conversations about how we're going to get along and live together.
But now, influential young people say some things must never be said.
It's starting.
So after all that, I think you can if you offend someone. Alright, when we come back, filming on farms. Why you can't film on someone else's property. Stay with us. Listen to this.
A woman records what appears...
Oh my god, oh my god.
A woman records what appears to be a live cow being pushed by a bulldozer.
And that bulldozer? Yes, he's alive.
She was filming from public land. The farm owner drove up and confronted her.
You cannot videotape my property from public property.
Why are you concerned about being filmed if you have no problem, you think this is a legitimate business?
It is a legitimate business.
Utah prosecutors charged the woman with agricultural operation interference.
Am I free to leave or am I being detained?
You're being detained.
But she was on public land. They dropped the charges several months later. But what?
First of all, there is a line. Public property and farm. You draw the line. You stand in this area with the video camera. That paints you as filming. But you stand on that line. But you do not cross that line. But if you did, then you'd be arrested. It's a gag order. If you film on farms, if you film on farms, you will be arrested. And she was lucky. She was lucky the charges dropped. If the charges did not drop, she'd be in jail. If you film on farms, watch out. The farm owners could attack you. The police could come in. You'd be going to jail. And so, what is this called?
What if she'd sneaked onto a farm to record what she considered animal abuse? More than 100 such investigations have been done. Activists pose as farm workers and secretly record the way animals were treated.
An animal rights group released this undercut.
These recordings are persuading politicians to
Essentially outlaw these undercover investigations.
The controversial ag gag law.
The sixth state to pass an ag gag.
It's called an ag gag law. That means that no one can film on farm property. In most states, it's legal, but in 6 states, it's illegal. What does ag gag mean? We'll tell you about it on Friday. That's all for this edition of Give Me a Break this Wednesday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Friday at our same time. Have a good night, everyone.